You want to work in this building here.
I do,
Why?
to make a difference, and because we aren't getting the competence, compassion, and integrity we need out of government, we need to rebuild our Liberal Party to deliver the kind of serious leadership and change we need here at Queen's Park.
Yeah, it's been two disastrous elections in a row for the Liberal Party. There's no sugarcoating that. What are you going to do different to get the party back?
So I've been in politics since 2015 elected, but 2013, the last 10 years really organizing. I got involved 10 years ago because the Liberal Party federally was in third place. We had a really frustrating conservative majority government, the kind of government that advanced ideas to serve elections when it should really be the other way around. We win elections to serve ideas, and I got involved because of that commitment to doing politics differently and empowering communities by empowering parliamentarians. And so when I've traveled the province, I've traveled 50 ridings so far, and I am delivering a message to say politics, for all of its faults, and there are faults to politics, it's the most important way we make a difference in the lives of others. And if you want better from politics, the answer is participation. And there is no substitute for the hard work of traveling the province, delivering a message of grassroots generational renewal and rebuilding our party so we rebuild our province.
That's so well and good. Stephen Del Duca, he traveled the province too. He said the same sort of things. What are you going to do differently?
Well, I have no connection to the party that came before, and I've got a track record I can point to. In 2015, I knocked on doors and I promised change. I've got 7.5 years I can point to now of not only working across party lines, being a little bit less partisan to make a difference and to get things done and to help shape the government's agenda. I've also got a track record of doing politics differently, of being more principled and independent-minded, and I want to build that kind of a team and change the culture to our politics. I would say also that we've got to redefine what the Liberal Party stands for. We can't just be the not Doug Ford party. We've got to stand for competence, compassion, and integrity, and we've got to match fiscal discipline and a strong economic agenda alongside fairness for those in need. And so it's back to basics on values, and then it's delivering a message. There are so many common issues that matter to people all across this province, whether it's access to a family doctor, whether it's housing, whether it's protecting the environment, whether it's social safety net reform, whether it's mental health and addictions. And we need to deliver on those big challenges with seriousness.
Was being first to declare, was that important to you? Do you think that gives you an advantage?
It was natural because we've now hit over 50 ridings, and I said back in September when we first started on this that I was going to run for the leadership if I could build a really serious, diverse team from every corner of this province. We have that team. I know the team's only going to continue to grow, but I'm no longer exploring. I'm all in, and my message to everyone listening is come build it with me.
Do you look at other potential candidates? Do you think, have you talked to a Bonnie Crombie or an Adil Samji about your leadership bid?
I haven't talked to Bonnie, but I've talked to the others, and I expect this to be a really collaborative process. But honestly, the elections I've run, and I've won one competitive nomination in 3 general elections, it's never about the other guy. It's always about what you're going to commit to delivering and committing to change. And this is going to be about what we can change and deliver at Queen's Park.
What's next for you in the race? How are you going to run the race? How are you going to raise money? Have you raised enough money so far?
We've raised enough to be traveling the province in an exploratory way since September. We're launching officially today with a rally of hundreds of our closest friends and supporters in the East End of Toronto, and then I'm going to get back on the road. There is no substitute for traveling the province and building a Liberal presence in every community. Whether or not a community is represented by a Liberal here at Queen's Park, every community should have a strong voice in our party, and that's the kind of party we're going to build.
Will you be resigning your seat in Ottawa?
It's an active conversation. I've got 2 hats right now, and it's been a lot of work to carry them both with me over the last number of months, but I continue to be a really active member on behalf of Beaches East York and support my community, raising issues with ministers. I have a bill before the Health Committee. I've been active on the Industry Committee. I've been active through the budget process. So it'll be an active conversation over the summer, and we'll make a decision at that time.
Finally, Doug Ford. Has he done anything you like?
He was saying for a time many of the right things on housing, but they are under-delivering in such a serious way that I'm no longer optimistic about the promises they've made. I was in St. Thomas the other day, and because of federal leadership, there are going to be thousands of jobs created with a battery manufacturing plant. And I will say, Doug Ford, while he ripped up green energy contracts when he first took office, he has come to the table kicking and screaming on both climate and childcare, not showing leadership, but at least not standing in the federal government's way.
What are you going to do about the Greenbelt if you're elected?
We are going to protect the Greenbelt. When a premier makes a commitment and a leadership candidate makes a commitment to protect the environment and that the people have spoken, we're not going to touch the Greenbelt, one has to honor one's commitment. It's the worst part of politics is when politicians break promises, backtrack on things they've said, especially a clear commitment like that. So we're going to build housing. We are going to be the most ambitious government and party in building housing as a Liberal Party that I lead, but we aren't going to encroach on the Greenbelt, and the Housing Affordability Task Force of the very Premier says we don't need to encroach on the Greenbelt to build housing.
Are you going to do away with the strong mayor powers?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'll think on that. I didn't support the strong mayor powers when they were put in place. I'm happy to see the mayors who have said they aren't going to exercise them, but I think more consultation is warranted with the liberal membership on that front. But my instinct would be to say to roll back those powers, but we'll see.
Healthcare. The Liberal Party in here doesn't have a great track record. Bill 60 just passed yesterday. Any early promises on healthcare?
Just that we have to really focus very squarely on the values that matter in our healthcare system, and that's equity. We can't allow wealth to jump the queue, and efficiency and innovation. And we shouldn't be shy about speaking about efficiency, innovation, and improving our healthcare system. We need better healthcare.
Does that mean privatization when you say those words?
Absolutely not. And I think that's where I would draw a very sharp contrast with what the Conservatives are doing. That when I look at efficiency and innovation, and I speak to experts in the system, they say, look around the world, and the most efficient systems are also nonprofit. And so we can embrace the language of efficiency and innovation. We can deliver better patient care, better outcomes. We can do it in a nonprofit public setting. And so moving acute surgeries, as an example, out of non-acute surgeries out of acute care settings, that makes sense. But the priority should have been community and nonprofit care. That's what the Ontario Medical Association was calling for. That's what the Ontario College of Physicians and Surgeons was calling for. And the government didn't listen.
Okay, last question. For those who don't know, tell me in a quick nutshell, who is Nate Erskine-Smith?
I am 38 years old. I was elected for the first time in 2015. I was a lawyer before. My parents were both teachers. I was the first in my family to go to law school, and I'm out to make the biggest difference that I can. And 10 years ago, that meant federal politics. Now it means provincial politics. And you're gonna see, if you follow my career over the last 7.5 years, you've seen that I've done politics differently. And if you follow me in this leadership race, you're gonna see that I'm gonna continue to do politics.
You think you're gonna win this?
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't be doing it otherwise.